If you call yourself a real enjoyer of video games, then you need to have played at least one fishing game in your life. For me, the time finally came when I saw Let's Try Bass Fishing Fish on Next, because the character designs in it were done by Akio Watanabe. Without his designs, the Monogatari series would be 20% as good. The developers of this masterpiece are masters of their craft, because if you check out what other games they have made, you see a lot of fishing, and the Ape Escape remake on the PSP. So they're based just for that, but you will also notice that they have made Sega Bass Fishing for the Wii. No shit, a developer that makes fishing games has made a game for the perfect console for it with a bunch of extra controller stuff? But that one was co-developed by Cavia, the studio that was mostly known for masterpieces like Soccer Life 2, and some lesser known games like the first two Drakengard games and also the original Nier. For people who don't know what that means, it means that Yoko Taro worked at that company. Someone watching a video about an anime fishing game should know him, but still. That Wii fishing game came out in 2008, 2 years before Nier. So what if he saw his fellow co-workers working on it and thought, you know what, I really want to put fishing into one of my games too. And so was the fishing minigame born in Nier, that then made that one reviewer from Joystick quit the game and gave it a shitty review because of it. Yes, there's a full 7-minute video of this person ranting about not getting the needed fish to complete a mandatory quest while fishing in the wrong spot and blaming the game for it. If I failed this hard at my job, I would get fired. The world could have been a completely different place if they didn't add fishing to Nier. What if that review would have been a 10 out of 10 instead and gave it tons of sales because of it? We will never know. The one thing it taught us is that you can't trust anyone making videos about video games. Not even me. Always make up your own opinion, be a free spirit. Sometimes you will see my mouse cursor on the screen and don't let it distract you. I feel this was important to say so you won't think it's your own mouse all the time. And yes, that means I did play it on an emulator, and it worked totally fine. Please don't tell Nintendo even if they had nothing to do with this game or with the Vita itself. You can pick between 4 different characters, 3 girls and 1 guy. The single dude is called Ryuji, and you might think he looks like he's middle-aged and was a Yakuza member before, but he's only 19. And wants to become a great fisher like his dad was. So this guy comes from a fish beating him up instead of getting into actual fights. Don't underestimate fish. Jamie is the main girl, kinda, because she's on the cover of the game and the designated childhood friend, who never loses, right? Why would anyone not pick her? Just look at her smile, she's keeping a smile even when she's kinda angry. Someone needs to tell her to button up her shorts though. I know it's done for the extra moe factor and it adds to the great design, but you should expose your panties so easily. I know those denim shorts can get pretty tight and annoying if you wear them for too long, I speak from experience, but she's in public. Have some decency and just put on a skirt instead and flash your panties every once in a while to be a total tease, something like that instead, but I like it. Kano is Jamie's rival because Jamie thinks that she will steal Ryuji away from her if she wins the world tour and impresses him with her fishing skills. And maybe also because of her big boobs. Good thing he mostly only likes his fish to be big. That doesn't make Jamie's breast envy go away though, and I like that trope. Then there's also Ai, and she's a magical girl, even though she may not look like one. Which is a bit sad. You can't make a Maho Shoujo without her doing a transformation when catching a fish. She wants to bring peace to the world through the power of fishing, so she's maybe a bit too wholesome for that. Even though most of these transformations are pure and only seen as something hot by people with dirty minds. Go wash out your brain. Also, her little hat has the same colors as Jamie's panties. I don't think that's a coincidence. Maybe you can imagine her wearing her panties on her head through the power of imagination. Something like that. They have different skills that you start with, but eventually you can just get all the skills possible when you level them up with little challenges in the story mode like catching big enough fishies in a short time. And there's no overall changes to the story regardless of who you pick really. You will always start at the bottom and have to work your way up to the top. Except for when you already unlock different lures with different characters. Then you can also already use them with any character and they're not locked to a specific one. They even have different named and colored ones. I have to say, I don't care about fishing in the slightest, but still had my fun with the game for a bit. You cast a line and wait for a fish to bite, and then it's the typical fishing game of reeling them in by pressing into the direction they want you to and hope for the best. There's also touch controls, but like I said, I didn't play it on an actual Vita and I didn't bother with them. Not sure if the touch controls would be fun with you wiping the screen with your greasy fingers all over. You should only do that in games where you can rub anime girls.
Weather. Don't touch touch me there. Don't touch me there. Don't touch me there.
I will never forgive Nintendo for removing that feature in Fire Emblem Fates. Lady Fan Translation. Playing a real fishing game made me appreciate how much more fun the typical fishing minigame is, instead of the ones that you rarely used that also inspired some others. It just doesn't feel like fishing, you know? Make me press into a direction where the fish is swimming, quickly making me go press the other way when he changes his mind, things like that, not just having to balance something in the middle of a bar. It also made me miss how Xenoblade is missing fishing, and no, salvaging does not count even if you sometimes got some crabs out of it. Same with Tiger Tiger. You dive to get treasure, not to get fish, sadly. Not like the other Xeno games ever had any kind of super duper fishing either, but well, that's life. People always think every JRPG has fishing, but it's not true. It's the kind of side activity I enjoy doing the most because it's relaxing, because you can take it at your own pace. Unlike here, because you have a timer all the time since it's a tournament. And it's not relaxing at all. It even makes you start to hate the fish because sometimes they are too stupid even for fish. Like trying to bite onto the lure but they miss it or they just lose interest. It's like when you watch a video nowadays and if the first 10 seconds don't catch you, you already close it. People think that's a TikTok problem, but I think it always existed. Humans just enjoy having that kind of enemy where they feel it makes them smart for not engaging with it. Just look at all those people who acted they were superior because they didn't play Fortnite, things like that. Actual idiots who are inferior to even the biggest normies. It's fine to have an opinion, but acting smartly and better because of it just makes you stupid, even to a dimwit like me. The biggest weakness of the game is that there aren't many fish. I played through the game on the amateur class and then played a bit of the pro class and there's no new fish really. You just fish the same fish. You do unlock a few more stages on the other cups, but is it really worth it if you just catch the same fishies? Not like the environments are real Lucas either, but they do have a certain charm to it. Like living in a shitty village with no future with how drab everything looks. Except for yourself. That's how I saw A Wonderful Life back in the day. One of my first video game disappointments in my life. I loved Back to Nature, but when I got this one, I sat there and thought, wow, this is kinda depressing. It's less colorful, the people are weird and it felt smaller than a game on the PS1. Nowadays I would love to live in a village like that, but only if they got decent internet. Aside from the big tournament, there's also a challenge mode where you can challenge yourself, and back in the day, you could even upload your scores online to see who got the biggest fish and dicks. Sorry to my British friends, I will never accept anyone who calls fries chips. Chips are the things you eat from those plastic bags. There's no need to argue about it. These challenges unlock more lures and well, they're fun for a bit I guess. It's always the same basic challenges but on different maps. And it doesn't even feel like the weather makes a difference. If it rains, it just rains. The fish don't behave differently or anything like that. You do sometimes need to use a different lure to reach the fish, but it's really all you have to consider. I really just wanted to check my bucket list point of doing a fishing game review and pick this one because of Akio Watanabe's designs. I think you can tell that I have nothing to really say about the actual game, and that will be the experience for most people I think. The small amount of fish makes this a fairly uninteresting game for real fishers though, even I can tell that much. One day I would like to go fishing in real life, but at one of those ponds where you just throw them back in and they make me think, are fish really that dumb? Or what if they actually enjoy being caught, thrown back and then being caught again to make us happy? Maybe they see the smile on our faces and think, wow, I can make so many people happy by biting onto these things. I will now always do that. It's better to see them this way, than just thinking they're as stupid as people who fall for the most obvious troll posts online. Feels like people will really fall for anything nowadays. So yeah, the best thing I can say about the game is that I really like Jamie's design and her cuteness. Just look at how happy she is when she wins. Even though you will get this winning screen for every competition, even when it makes no sense. Why do I show two little fishes when the goal was to catch the biggest one? I think she should show off a big one instead. Go play her game to make her smile, she's worth it. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and will have a good day, a good night or whatever fits your time zone. Sometimes you have to keep things short. You know what they say, it's not the length that matters but the technique. Or maybe that's just cope. In real life a short wad is probably also good for specific fish rather than a long one. So life is a lot like fishing to a degree, because everyone likes different things. Bye bye.